I'm here in Paris, and whenever it is a sunny day, I like to take advantage of it and bask in the sun as much as possible. The city is beautiful post rain. The colors of the sky are unlike anything I've ever seen before, and that coupled with the beauty of the historic architecture and the Seine River, which surrounds the perimeter of the Parisian city, well, the majority of it, is absolutely breathtaking. There is something about this pinkish orange that takes place after the rain, and specifically after the rain in Paris. It lights up the sky like something out of a dream. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of On Being. My name is Wilfred, and I am so excited about today's episode. Today, I'm starting off things a little bit different. I want to talk about being an artist and what that means for me personally and my outlook on life. Yesterday, my boyfriend and I went to see a dance performance. The recital was in English. There was a lot of spoken words. It was both a political activist piece as well as a abstract performance piece that went across time, the extinction of different species, and really captured the breadth of the human experience. I have a pamphlet with me, and I just want to talk briefly about some of the play and work it into my outlook as an artist. Dancing is an art that I have so much admiration for. Movement of the body, this fluidity of the structure of the human body is so magnificent. And I think this recital in particular was so special to me. I remember the opening scene in which this animal-like creature is dancing with horns. And the way that the body is able to capture both animal and man at the same time and kind of give you this disposition of what it means to be human is so incredible. There were many moments in the play that I found so touching and heartbreaking. The play Figures in Extinction deals with the finite the finite time of human beings and human life and life in general, life in animals, the extinction. So it's so temporal. It was so reflective, and it made me both introspective about the art that I create and that I'm responsible for. I love doing this long form content with you because it gives me a chance to share what is inside my heart. And watching this piece as an artist created some sort of empathy for me, some sort of empathy for life and for the creation of life. I told Felix immediately that I started having these ideas about what I want to do next for our next short film, our next project together. And I think when you are in a creative space, that embodies freedom of expression, there is a symbiotic sharing of I want to describe this feeling without being too metaphysical. I want to talk about, in literal terms, what my mind and my experience goes through when I am in these creative spaces. In this dance recital in particular, I was very enveloped in the show. But because I was so engrossed in the moment, I started going into my own creative vision. And I started imagining what story I want to share into the world. And I think this happens often, whether it is some sort of creative show, a jazz concert, sometimes the flow of a person's entire being is more ethereal than human. And this sort of distinction in consciousness allows me the ability, or gives me rather, the ability to see something for what it could be. And a lot of times this inspires ideas, storylines, or different poetic interpretations or future creations that I want to focus and hone in on. So I like to take little notes when I'm feeling so inspired to do so, and then come back to it when I have more ability to give focus to that idea. So, what does it mean to be an artist for me? I think what I have learned is being an artist is being open. I think a lot of times we are told what is and what isn't. And in this finite and in this finity, this distinction between what is and what is not, I think these limitations are are distractions. I don't want to use anything hateful to describe the moment that someone decides to put some sort of restriction on an idea. I would just like to say that it is restrict it is restrictive, and it isn't coherent with the person that I am. I am someone who believes in freedom and openness and challenging the preconceived ideas of what is right, what is wrong, and what is. The tone of this particular creation, of this show, Figures in Extinction, was very political. And that was the voice in which these ideas came into fruition. And I thought that was very creative. I think it gives the brain something to think about, and it's a conversation. It gives language to the ideas expressed in this particular medium. When you have something as matter of fact as politics, you can discuss the context of the abstract piece of art in relation to the political climate of the day. The tone was very modern. It was very left-leaning, ideas about climate change, the environment, and also freedom of speech. There was one voice in particular that was louder than some of the other voices that were expressed in the film, and that was the voice of the antagonist, the denier. And that voice took on the literal personification of the President of the United States. I have mixed feelings about this entity. I think they have a strong understanding of how to communicate a message to the masses. For whatever reason that we've been conditioned, some voices are louder and more received than others. And I think this comes with conditioning, conviction, and certainty. This feels safe when someone has these three elements. And art is uncertainty. And I can tell you from my experience being an artist, there are millions of moments, many moments in which I embark on a creative adventure, on a creative endeavor, and I am lost financially. You can see what's plaguing me most at the moment. But a lot of times when I embark on a creative endeavor, it involves me upending everything that I feel safe and secure about, to rewire my brain to see something that was not there, that is not there, and to give voice to that. And a lot of times when I am building upon this idea, when I am materializing the immaterial, that is when I am able to communicate the idea more effectively to the audience. I think as an artist, I love to be received by my peers, by friends, and like-minded people who have something to share and to give. It is very much reciprocal being an artist, having something so personal, so deeply personal, and giving that to another individual and having them feed that back into you. It is such a cathartic and vulnerable experience. I am bringing something from within that I have interpreted and then try to give language to, and then try to make it resonate with an audience, an imagined audience that is not there yet, especially if you are a new artist such as myself. I have been putting things out into the world, mostly for the consumption of myself and my friends. And now I've given myself the permission to create for a larger for more spectators outside of my immediate circle. And this new experience has been both liberating, encouraging, and quite scary. I absolutely love the mind that I have to create. And sometimes I can be hard on myself. I feel oftentimes not enough when I don't have maybe the literal language to communicate ideas that I receive, that I interpret, that I observe. And I think part of the responsibility of an artist is to sharpen their craft by learning language, learning languages, learning people, learning what's going on in the world. That is much as your responsibility to communicate the idea as receiving the idea, as being open to receiving a new idea. So this is the state of mind that I am currently in. I am wanting to be both the receiver and the giver. Very versatile. I don't want to make this episode sexual. This episode is more a sharing of excitement that I had from watching a beautiful dance recital with my boyfriend, and having that symbiotic momentum, that shared energy that I received from the dancers, from the script, from the choreography. It gave something to me that I want to give to you today with this video, and also in the future for future projects that I am so grateful to have the idea to want and the desire to want to share it with you. This is going to be a beautiful day because it is sunny, because I am off today, because I'm with my boyfriend. We're going to have a nice breakfast. But I wanted to share with you what being an artist is for me, what my experience, my outlook on life looks like as an artist. Before I close this episode, I would like to say one last thing. If there is a desire that you have in your heart that you have not given yourself permission to do or to fulfill, I would like to challenge you to write it out. I think writing is at the core for me of all of my creative endeavors. It starts with a story. So if you don't know where to start, if you don't have all of the finances or all of the steps figured out just yet, start with a pen, a paper, an iPad, a phone, and jot it down. Jot down the idea and build upon it. I'm going to share with you my process for creating my next short film. I think that will be a promise that I would be more than happy to do with you. And I look forward to documenting that process very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel so I can continue making more content for you, sharing more ideas with you in a greater production, in a more elaborate setup. I would and I would appreciate if you'd leave a comment so we can meet each other informally and talk a little bit about about how you identify what's important to you, and if you've seen any great works of art lately, I'd be very, very curious. Thank you again. I can't wait to see you all in the next episode of On Being.